Hey, truth seekers, welcome back. Zach here. On November 29th, 2016, it was reported in the Gatlinburg, Tennessee fires that destroyed much of the mountain town. At the site known as Dollywood, employees recovered a single surviving page from the Bible, from the book of Joel. We'll look at those verses, the page supposedly discovered in the media. They've put out the image, the page is charred, and of the remaining words, you can read about a fire. What are the odds? One page from the Bible survives, and the words remaining talking about a forest fire. So the headline, Dollywood employee finds lone Bible page while cleaning up after fire. In case you're new to my channel, I show how the mainstream media, it's not actually reporting what's organically happening in the world. It's making up stories every day that tie into ongoing narrative and agenda. And I think ultimately what has happened in this town is a fire has purposefully been set for symbolism. And I think the symbolism has a lot to do with the Donald Trump presidential administration that's coming. This is the 45th president, the Trump-Pence ticket. The Bible concludes with Revelation, the book of prophecy and destruction. It has a lot of talk of fire. Show you what I mean as we go through this post. But what's most important is why they gave us these Bible verses on this page that they did from the book of Joel, which we'll get to. So let's begin here. If you're new to my channel, I talk about the language of gematria, the practice of coding numbers into words, which is a biblical practice. The Old Testament and New Testament written in languages originally that were based on numbers, Hebrew alphabet, Aramaic, Greek. These were lettering and numbering systems. So, Dollywood in gematria sums to 44. And here we're talking about a book from the Bible, a spiritual text, surviving, presented as a miracle. The word spiritual equals 44. The word faith, karma, hope. As for the page or the book of the Bible coming from Joel, Joel has gematria 42, and that's a very important number to the Bible. The original published Bibles were 42-line Bibles. The New Testament, the Christian part of the Bible, begins with the 42 generations leading up to Jesus. 42 is the number of the Freemasons, who pride themselves on being the invisible architects, the keepers of society. Their symbol is the compass and square with a big G. Big G represents 42. Just like Joel. Just like Freemason, architect, knowledge, history, building, New Testament. The New Testament begins with the 42 generations to Jesus, 42-line Bibles. Math, sin, Bible full of numbers. Most people who are Christians have never read the Bible, and the Christians that have read the Bible have no idea, for the most part, what any of the numbers mean. Talk to any Christian, they'll say, yeah, there's a lot of numbers in the Bible. You know what they mean? Not a clue. Think about that. Why? Why these mysterious numbers all throughout the Bible? Turns out, a gang of crazy people, Freemasons, banker tyrants, people operating in high places, people who live to control the masses, turns out they speak in numbers. The Bible, very much like the television, stories that have some worth in them, but are mostly nonsensical and will leave you seeming confused. TV, a tool of mass mind control. Prior to the TV, there was the Bible, religious texts. TV equals 42. Not a coincidence. So this fire is in Tennessee, right? Tennessee, which has the gematria of 106, like destroy, like prophecy, like Revelation, the book of prophecy and destruction. And when you look at the gematria book of Joel, which has verses that translate to Revelation, the book of prophecy and destruction. Joel's from the Old Testament. Revelation's based on the 39 books of the Old Testament. Isn't it so perfect? Gatlinburg, the town that burned, also has gematria of 666, connecting to prophecy in Jewish gematria, which equals 666. Revelation 13:18 makes the number 666 infamous. Revelation is the 66th book of the Bible. 666 is known as the number of the beast. Number of the beast equals 6. Just in case you've never seen me do this before, I always like to remind about 666 and 666. Number of the beast is what 666 is called. Number of the beast equals 66. Revelation's the 66th book of the Bible. The number 6 alone has gematria 52, and so does the word prophecy in English reduction. Prophecy in English reduction sums to 52. You see this? Prophecy, as we talked about a moment ago, using the alphabetic order, sums to 106. All interrelated methods, but the point to take away is 6, number of prophecy, Revelation, book of prophecy and destruction, the 66th in the Bible, 666, number of the beast. Talk more about beast as we go through here. Gatlinburg, Tennessee, in Pythagorean gematria also sums to 82. So does Armageddon. Armageddon, Revelation. Revelation's about the destruction of the world, the battle at the end before the return of Jesus. Armageddon, the final day of that ongoing battle. Just in case you haven't seen my other videos where I've talked about this before, there was a book written in 1985 about the destruction of the world, and that story, it's about how the destruction begins in a place called Antioch, Tennessee. Antioch, in the Bible, is the only place the word Christian is mentioned. The original Christians from Antioch. You know, this narrative is with the Christian Bible foreshadowing the destruction of the world. This is what a lot of Christians believe in, that the world will be destroyed, Jesus will return. Antioch, Tennessee. You should look how far that is from Gatlinburg, Tennessee. CNN, one of the first stories they put up on this, look at, they made it a minute 06 long. 106 like prophecy. Fire still burns as rain falls in Gatlinburg, you know. Lots of fire imagery in Revelation. It's also 66 seconds a minute 06, you know. Clever. This article came out on November 29th, the anniversary of the establishment of the Zionist state of Israel. I want to show you how these verses connect to Zion. Anyway, the anniversary of the date Israel was recognized as a nation by the United Nations, a 33-member vote made Israel a nation state on November 29th, 1947, a date with 106 numerology. In Zionist history, it's known as a date of prophecy. 1947 was also a year with 66 numerology. So here's the supposed surviving Bible piece that they got. Completely contrived, you know, the things they can do in the age of Photoshop. This is the King James Bible right here. King James Bible, they say the most official version. We'll read all these Bible verses. I haven't printed out. King James Bible, I just want to show you, sums to 119. Very special number to the gang of Masons and Zionists and Jesuits who rule over us. Star of David, the symbol of the Zionists. Their flag in the Zionist nation of Israel equals 119. All-seeing eye equals 119. Master plan 119. English Standard Version Bible, what's most common in the U.S. English Standard Version equals 104, like message received, just like Jerusalem with a USA in the middle. Date of establishment for this nation, 104/7/4/1776. Remember, the people with the Bibles came over and said that the people who lived here without the Bibles were godless heathens who deserved to be wiped off the face of the earth. In the name of Jesus, a genocide. So here's the verses that are up. Joel 1:18, Joel 1:19, Joel 1:20, Joel 2-1. And, you know, this is the King James Version. I just took them from the English Standard Version, but you can just see chapter 2, blow yea, the trumpet. Can you make that out? Blow a trumpet in Zion. We'll get there. Joel 1:18, how the beast groan. How the beast groan. You see, the herds of cattle. O Lord, to thee will. See, it's all the same verses. So let's just read through these verses that they have up here. Joel 1:18, how the beasts groan, the herds of cattle are perplexed because there is no pasture for them. Even the flocks of sheep suffer. Someday what they're going to do to this nation, and I'm not here to scare anyone, I just know that someday when we get to that point where it's too far, where we've let the tyranny go on for too long without looking for justice or holding anybody accountable, as we've done in this nation is, things have been perpetrated against us, lies, deception, illegal wars, September 11th. One day, they're going to take us to a place where it's just too far. And what they're going to do to us is they're going to turn the lights off. They're going to let destruction reign in America. All the guns and ammunition they sold us all over the years, they're going to let us use it to kill ourselves. If you're worried about FEMA camps and this kind of stuff, that'll never happen. There's not enough military. There's not enough police to round us all up. What they're going to do one day is turn the power off on us and leave us to fend for ourselves. And it's going to be a mess because in the United States of America, there's no community. Nobody knows each other. Almost everyone hates each other. Half the population wants to lash out and do something. They're just waiting for the day they can. And the day they turn out the power and let you know that the authorities, they're out of commission, it's going to be a mess here. That's why we have to establish community before that day comes. It's probably still decades away. At least we can hope. So anyway, here we are, Joel 1:18. How the beasts groan. We just read it. The herds of cattle are perplexed because there is no pasture for them. Even the flocks of sheep suffer. Joel 1:19. To you, O Lord, I call, for fire has devoured the pastures of the wilderness, and flames have burned all the trees of the field. This is Joel 1:19. And look, you guys, it's the King James version of the Bible. Again, King James Bible 1:19. Verse 119 survived, talking about the fire in the wilderness. What have I been here for 3 years saying? They're coded numbers. This number system goes back to the Bible. They're recreating news, mocking the Bible, mocking the people who lives here. This is why this town's really on fire. If they ever put a person on the news and say, this person did it, that'll just be their made-up patsy character to place the blame. The fire department of this town probably said it. Remember, your fire departments, your police, they're all run by this Freemason gang, and effectively, they all work against us. Joel 1:20, even the beasts of the field pant for you because the water brooks are dried up, and fire has devoured the pastures of the wilderness. And then Joel 2:1, the last remaining thing on here, blow ye trumpet. Look at this. Blow a trumpet in Zion. In Zion, the Zionists running your media, mocking you. Sound an alarm on my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord is coming. It is near. And just so you know about the word Lord, has gematria 49, just like Revelation. And what else has gematria 49 is Washington, of course, the nation's capital. It was originally Philadelphia, which is named from the book of Revelation. So anyway, with regards to Zion, it has gematria of 64, like Israel, like Thelema. Thelema is the occult religion that worships Saturn and the number 93. Everything in Israel is 93. Israel, the Zionist nation, was drawn up September 3rd, 1947. That's what they voted on November 29th, 1947. Everything about Israel through its entire history is 93. We recently saw their former president die at age 93. All the world leaders went to Israel on the day that leaves 93 days left in the year. They had the funeral on September 30th, 9/30. Israel's entire history, 93. Thelema worships 93 and this occult religion, which U.S. politicians are a part of, and more. Again, this nation serves the Zionists. This nation serves the banker tyrants. That's the real reason for its existence. It's never been a sovereign nation. It's always been a Jewish banker tyrant nation. Nothing else. Freemason nation. But anyway, their motto is do what thou wilt, which equals 64. In Revelation, it says the false Jews will rule in the end times. Their name is the synagogue of Satan, which equals 64, just like Israel. 64 spaces on the chessboard. Trump equals 88, the Trump-Pence ticket. Trumpets are the warning in Revelation. Blow a trumpet in Zion. They're calling Donald Trump the first Jewish president because he's married his daughter. His daughter, who he's wanted to fuck since she was 13 years old. Let's be specific about who the president's been given to us in these mocking times. Talk about signs. Donald Trump, Mr. Wall, announced as the 45th president on the anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall, November/9th, 11/9, 119. Donald in Jewish gematria equals 119. Psychopath, Mr. Billionaire, who's made his fortunes by taking risks, losing all of his money, and then using the taxpayers to bail him out to come back out on top. Christian sheeple voting for the wolves. The signs are abound. So anyway, Mr. Trump-Pence ticket is in the house. Trump equals 88. 8 times 8, 64. 8 plus 8, 16. Elected the 45th president at the end of 2016. Donald Trump, his mother is from Scotland. Remember, he was over in Scotland for the Brexit vote? The Brexit was a surprise. I said then, Donald Trump, he could be the surprise president. I was hoping it wouldn't happen because the symbolism's too crazy, but here it is. Scottish equals 113. It's Scottish Rite Freemasonry running the show. Trumpet equals 113. Apocalypse 113. Trumpets are the warning in Revelation, which in the translation means apocalypse, which isn't all, the imagery of Revelation is about destruction, but it's hard to say whoever originally wrote the Bible, what all their metaphors and symbolism really mean. Obviously nobody ever lived in the belly of a whale. Obviously not every animal, more than 2 of each kind lived happily ever after on a boat. Can you imagine all the animal shit? Have you ever seen elephants at the zoo? Who fed them? How didn't they eat each other for 40 days and 40 nights? But anyway, these words, revelation, apocalypse, we associate them often with destruction. They can also just mean like coming to consciousness, waking up. Perhaps the powers that be putting Donald Trump in as the president are giving us another opportunity to wake up to the madness. In the book of Revelation, the beast rules for 42 months. We were talking about 42 in the beginning, Joel, the Freemasons. Book of Revelation is also known as the Apocalypse of John, which has gematria of 181, the 42nd prime number. Another 42. Beast ruling for 42 months. What's interesting is that's in Revelation 13:5. The key of David, important instrument in bringing about prophecy, sums to 135. It's from the book of Revelation. It's mentioned in regards to Philadelphia. Philadelphia was established in history on a date with 135 numerology. Interesting. There's a lot of interpretations what 42 months really means. Most people don't think it means 42 calendar months like we know. Remember, they weren't on the same calendar system we were back then. And these books have all been retranslated so many times, who knows what any of it really means anymore. But I want to show you something about beast. The word time has the same gematria as beast. I feel like time is the real beast. Almost all of us were enslaved in this world and we can't do much about our position because of time. We don't have enough time to ever get ahead. It's like we're on a mouse wheel constantly trying to keep up. Not enough hours in a day to improve our circumstance. Also, this number 47 that's coded into time and beast and John and Goy, the derogatory term for people who aren't Jewish, Christian 47. Freemasons have Euclid's 47th problem about how to establish foundation, framework, authority. Think about what Christianity is, Book to tell people how to live, what to believe, how to think. Also, regarding that final verse being Joel 2:1, Bible equals 21, so does Saturn the small way. The sum of the magic cube of Saturn is 45. Holy Bible equals 45. Donald Trump, the 45th president, the Trump-Pence ticket. Today's headline I saw is Donald Trump stirring it up by talking to the leader of Taiwan, and it gave me a flashback to middle school. In middle school, my history teacher said that World War III will come someday, and you'll know it's about to start when Taiwan fully declares its independence from China. You know, I don't know how far away these days are, but Donald Trump, the Trump-Pence ticket, this story in Tennessee, plus everything else going on in this nation for the last several years, you know. Remember the chemical weapons story 3 years ago in Damascus? Damascus, destruction in Damascus signals the end in the Bible. All these riddles for a reason. Book of Joel. I mean, the real takeaway, if you just want to show somebody one thing from this, show them this. Show them the breakdown on King James Bible. This is the King James Bible if you want to verify the translation. You know? And it's verse 119 about the fire. You know? And again, Donald, 119. Here's where we got to close this video out with. We're going to go there one more time. You know, I've shown this video a bunch of times already, but it can't be shown enough. We're closing out with Donald Trump's 2010 Serta mattress ad. Donald Trump Serta ad. I think that'll bring it up. Here we go, truth seekers. Let's watch for some more 11 and 9.
So what do you think of my Trump home mattress collection?
Whoops. My fault.
So
there we
what
go.
do you think of my Trump home mattress collection by Serta? Finally, the same luxury and comfort I demand in my hotels.
Oh, they'll never count sheep again.
Listen, why don't you come work for me?
What do you have in mind?
Something you were born to do.
Welcome to room 9.
Looking good, number 9. Looking good.
Where?
Do you see the numbers that are made out in this scene? Number 11, number 9, Donald Trump announced as the 45th president, November 9th. Mr. Wall, on the anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall. Berlin Wall equals 45. This is from 2010. He's talking about born to be. If you go and look at the image from when he accepted the election early in the morning, November 9th, he's wearing this same suit, this same tie. Born to be. History made by the numbers. Now we get the King James 11:9 verse that syncs up perfectly with what's going on. What words did they let us make out here? O Lord, to thee will I cry, for the fire hath devoured the pastures of the wilderness, and the flame hath burned all the trees of the field. I mean, isn't it just unreal? Unreal how they do it. Again, if you have not supported the Truth Seeker, Network Revolution campaign, you have until January 30th to do it, but the sooner the better. We want to get this campaign filled up, the website, the app operating at full capacity as quickly as possible. And you know what? I really do want to take a little bit of the extra money, go to D.C. on Inauguration Day, a few days after, and get out the word about this staged, election, this rigged show, this rigged debacle, the rigged news, the mocking news. Let's get a movement in Washington, D.C. from the first day Donald Trump's there, and let's hope we can keep a crowd there until the day the whole world knows about it, This nation that boasts about being free and democratic. What a farce. It's a grand mocking by a bunch of Jewish banker gangsters, calling Donald Trump, who said nobody loves Israel more than him, the first Jewish president. There's a reason he's talking to sheep in that commercial. There's a reason on the campaign trail he said so many times he loves the dumb, uneducated people, the same group that voted him into office. But let's not forget, it's all rigged. It's all a show. They were going to put him in anyway if that was the plan. It's just sad that people thought that this was legit. This was going to be something different. They thought this billionaire born with a silver spoon in his mouth was going to be their savior. Especially the Christians. What's the Bible say about rich people? These American Christians. Again, none of them have ever read the Bible. All right, until next time, True Seekers.